streaming. Start recording. Now let's see if it's actually working. Because it wasn't because I fucked up. Ugh, good times. Oh, there we go. It's popped up. Let's see how it sounds. That means you're gonna hear an echo.
It's actually working.
Holy shit. There's sound.
Because it wasn't because I fucked up.
Alright, so now that I've heard my voice and know what I sound like, which is absolutely atrocious, I'm 2 minutes late. Oh, bummer. Huge bummer. Who cares? Anyways, 2 minutes late because I sat there hitting the stream button going, what the fuck isn't this working? Well, it turns out I didn't change my profile on OBS Studio from Beam to YouTube. So, that's fun. That happened. Let's see if I'm recording. I am recording. Now I have to fucking cut that out. God damn. Yeah, so basically, I need to stop alt-tabbing altogether because the first 3 videos that I did was alt-tabbing. Good lord. There was so much time that I had to cut out. I also need to put my phone on vibrate before I get messages that drive me absolutely nuts. Well, it is live. Live, not love. Whoops. Anyways, okay, so for those of you who are actually watching, and I can't tell, so you know what? I am going to be a total douche and open this up on my phone and find out how many people are watching to see if I'm talking to myself or, you know, whatnot and stuff. And if anybody says anything. Oh god, no, turn the volume off. Don't listen to your own voice. Okay. So, anybody who is going to watch, basically, what I'm going to do is I need to finish this off. A friend of mine, actually, his name is Joshua Samuels. Sorry, my friend, my bad. He rigged and modeled me a smear. So I'm going to actually bring that in right now. Reference editor. I'm going to reference it in too because if I decide to change it a little bit, I want it to actually update as I watch. As I read the word watch as I said that. Like I said, I'm just getting over a cold. So this is going to be awesome. Alright, so I have my smear right here. Thank you again, Josh. Huge help for doing that. This smear is actually incredible. It's funny, when I asked him for it, he was telling me it's not that great, so, you know, just let me know if it works for you. And I'm just going to show you what this does real quick. This is perfect for sword swings, by the way. So, you've got your move all. You're not actually going to be using this a lot, but you want to make sure that when you move the smear for the sword, the slash effects, whatever the hell you want to call it, you use it with this, and you're pretty much just going to rotate it a little bit when you get it in the right spot. He has the joints shown. I'm actually going to turn those off, just so that you don't think that I'm going to animate those, because I'm totally not going to. Turn the camera on. Alright, so, I apologize for the sniffing. These are the controllers that you animate. The way that he's done it, I can stretch them out. If I do this, it stretches all of them at once. So what I would normally do is just do... Oh, that's new. I've never seen a rig do that before. Thank you, Josh. Holy shit. Anyways, if I need to stretch it, I can just go ahead and do that. If I need to rotate them, I can go ahead and do that. You don't want to get too crazy with your smears. Try and avoid doing shit like this, because when you render it out, it's going to have a darker spot here and a lighter spot up here, unless you make it so it's not affected by the lighting. But if you don't have it affected by the lighting, sometimes it won't render it. Now, the best part to this smear, which is genius to me, I don't know how the fuck he did it at all. I think he took the points and did it, is this nifty little slider right here. Or if I move that down, oh snap. Yeah. It's amazing. It's going to make this shot so much better. So basically, the reason it's white is the end of his sword, white. I could change it to black if I wanted to, which I may do, but not too concerned about that. I am going to, though, right off the bat, take off the current one that is in there because it is really bad. Where the hell is it? Right there. I'm going to take this one out because it is very ugly. And, yeah, I'm not too fond of it at all. So, take that and delete it out. Now, leave the live chat up just in case anybody says anything. Oh shit, yeah, what up? Oh, and your name is in there too, so I can actually say your name now. What up, Arturo? Okay, so for that slash, I'm going to find out where they all are. And I'm only going to use one of these because you don't need more than one unless you have two swords swinging at the same time. So basically what this swing effects is for is when you're going from a big spot like this to a spot like that. Sorry, a pose like this to a pose like that. It's basically you're covering up the gap that the sword is going so it doesn't look like it wasn't in there. And it stops it from looking a little bit like a pop. In sword swings, you need to have these big pops. It's what shows the force and the other words that I can't think of because I'm getting over a cold. And yeah, I'm going to be using that as an excuse this whole time. How's the sound, Arturo? Probably a billion times better, I bet, because I've got this fancy-ass little blue ball that stares at me and has a red light. It's kind of creepy, actually. Sits on a tripod. It's funny, the mic is amazing, but the tripod is shit. It's like it was made out of cheap plastic. So anyways, back to, what I was actually working on. Move this over. I would normally use the match transforms. So crisp now, I know, so crisp. I would normally use the match transforms with the A tools, but lately I've been running into an issue, and I don't know if it's because of A tools or Maya, but I've been running into an issue lately where when I use it on certain controllers, what ends up happening is it freezes the perspective view and the camera view and everything. The only way that you can fix it is if you actually just delete out, save your Maya and open a new one. So I've been avoiding using match transform on anything that is animated. I've only been using it on clean things. So anyways, there is my smear attached to the sword. I actually could, if I wanted to, constrain this to the sword, and I just might do that. I might use apparent constrain. So, now that I've thought about that, I'm going to turn the geo off. Whoops. Okay, so I'm going to grab that, and we're going to go constrain and parent option box, and I'm going to do just the translates. I'm not going to do the rotates because I don't want it to control the rotates. I only want it to control the translates. Abe, you fixed. Yeah, I did. I did fix the voice. The only thing that is the issue now is my voice and how shitty it sounds. I'm going to key that just so that I have my blend parent on. And now what I need to do is I need to key this and go back a frame. And this is exactly why here I would turn the visibility off. So we have off. Oh shit, that's not going to work. Let's use the geo. I wonder if he has... Nope. So we're just going to do the geo. Oh, look at that. Can't select the geo. Okay, well then. Basically, what that means is I'm going to have to turn off the words. Delete by type. Constraints. I'm going to take the constraint off and we're just going to do this over one frame. It's not going to follow the sword at all. Okay, so basically, from the side view, I need to set up a small camera for this because this is the easiest way to do this right now, unless I want to draw out the curves, and frankly, I don't want to. Grease pencil drives me nuts. It's amazing, but it drives me nuts sometimes. So what I'm going to do is 6 here, 6 here. I'm going to pull out on this camera. I'm going to get my camera angle. This is just a quick camera. It doesn't mean anything. I'm just using it strictly for this so I can see where he is swinging from. And I'm going to go back here and turn off all that shit and turn that stuff back on. There. I don't want to accidentally animate a joint. That is something that I've done a few times and I've learned from that mistake. It is definitely not fun at all. Okay, so basically I know that the whole swing effect is going to be, and let's just make a quick select all for this thing. Make sure I select only that stuff. Alright, so get my swing effects. Spent 10 minutes explaining things and still haven't done anything. And I'm going to key it right here. And I'm going to key it right here. Now, I need to remember where this was. So as much as I said I don't want to touch the grease pencil, I'm going to anyways. Why aren't you showing up? Oh, grease pencil. Durr. There. Okay, so that's where the sword is coming from, and this is where it's going to. Which means that I need that arc from the sword. So do something along those lines. Excuse me. So what I need to do now is go to this spot. I'm going to rotate this out. I guess we're going to rotate it from here. Not too much. You know what? Let's see how far we can go before it doesn't work. I'm watching the tip. See that point right there? That's what I want to avoid. The only thing now that I wish that this had was something that this point right here affected the front. So I'm going to select all of those, and we're going to start to rotate those back to where the sword used to be. Alright, now let's see what this nifty controller does. Maybe it'll do something awesome. Aw, snap. I gotta stop saying snap. The more I say it, the more stupid it sounds. Alright, bring that back a little bit. I don't want too much of it. So we're gonna bring that down. And actually, now that I think about it, I want that to come out more. Oof, can I translate those? Oh, I can, but it's starting to look a little ugly. I'm going to bring that out. I just want to smooth this, and because this is only over one frame, it really doesn't matter how ugly it looks, as long as you've got nice, crisp, smooth lines. That's all that matters. So we keep that. Let's see if I pull that back a little bit further. We'll test that out and see how that feels. Take it out in this frame. We'll just take it and go through the ground. Nobody will know. Alright, and then through here, I'm going to key the whole thing on this frame. I'll go to the next frame, and then this is where I'm going to start to make it a little bit smaller. And I would take this, and let's just see how would it get smaller, or yeah, we can bring that down a little bit more. I'm going to reset the translations on these. Holy shit, let's not do that, because that just riffed everything up. Let's see what happens when I do this to here. So I'm copying what they used to be. Okay, so the issue that I'm noticing here is that these tend to get translates on them, which is an issue, but I can work around that. From working in this industry for a long time, I need to tell everybody, you're not ever going to have anything that's perfect. Just get over it. It's never going to be perfect. It's always going to be somewhat broken and somewhat shitty, and you need to just deal with it. Anybody who's worked in the animation or film industry long enough will tell you the exact same thing, that it's never going to be perfect and you're always going to be dealing with issues. So just make it work. And like I said, that's what I'm doing right here. Now my issue here is that it is getting a little bit too small. So I'm actually going to take one more stab at that. And we're going to bring that down, bring it in. Let's try scaling it. Maybe scaling it will do something. Oh shit, that does. There we go. Now hopefully when I change this to black, it will, hopefully, not show a lot of those white creases. That's one thing that I definitely am going to try to avoid. Now, I might not even want to show this over 2 frames. I might even just take everything that I just did out on this second one. But I like to feel it out first and see what it feels like. That's a lot of feel. So we'll key that. And then I'll go right there, and we're just going to take everything and pop it out. So my issue with this right now is that it's getting thrown forwards. So I'm going to just bring all that back a little bit and then bring this stuff forward a little bit. There we go. That feels better. What I do want to do actually is turn the opacity down on this smear. Let's see, where is the geo? Because he has the geo so that I can't touch it. I'm pretty sure that all that right there is just rig. Yeah, that is all just rig. No. There we go. That, I need to change that to be a little bit more transparent. There we go. Let's do that transparent. Works for me. Alright. One more thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to save. Because that was a big thing. Possibly. Alright, we're going to go to the next one. Next one is here. Ooh, his arm breaks. That's something I never caught. Well, that's a good thing that I'm doing it now. Alright, so his arm goes from here to here. One thing that I'm going to try first is I'm going to grab both arms. And this is usually my go-to first. Grab both arms, curves, and Euler filter. Normally what that does is it stops your arm from doing weird rotations. This isn't doing it right now, it's not fixing it at all. So basically Maya likes to work, and computers in general like to go from A to B as quick as possible. That is exactly what's happening right now. The computer doesn't know that arms don't work like this. So it is taking the fastest route from here to here, which is why in the middle it is doing that, because the computer thinks get the fastest route to that spot, and that is the fastest route. So this is something that you'd have to hand key. Typically arms and feet get way more keys than the rest of the body. So you'll always have a butt ton more keys on your arms and your feet. For myself, I always have lots of keys on the hands. Lots of keys on the hands. I don't like having dead hands. For this particular shot, I'm not too concerned about it, honestly. Which is kind of a bad thing, but meh. Alright, I need to turn these off real quick. Just a sec. Why aren't you showing the grease pencil area? You son of a bitch. That should be the frame. Well, that sucks. Alright, so arm comes up and around. Boom. Alright, so this is my final pose. Right there. And then the next one is down here. So that means that the arm should, excuse me, be, let's just get it close to where it used to be. Here. Bad silhouette. Let's get a little bit more of the arm in there. And then we'll break it down with the elbow. And we'll take the hand and we'll get the tip of the sword close to the same spot. That is moving a little bit too much. So we're actually going to take that shoulder, rotate it up, and we're going to take that arm and rotate it up just a little bit more. And that means I'm going to take this elbow and rotate it back and get that sword tip closer to where it was before. Again, I gotta stop animating it to camera. That is one of the issues I don't want to have right now, because if I animate it to camera, then it's not gonna look 100% in perspective. And that means that this arm actually needs to be here. And that tip should be there. So, there we go. Again, I'm doing those stupid noises. The only issue that we're running into now is that his hand is covering his face in the camera view. So as long as I have that eye showing, that'll be okay. There is a nifty controller here called Stretch. What the hell does that even do? Oh, okay, let's try stretching this one. Ooh, this will be fun. Okay, We're going to stretch that a little bit more, and we're going to pull that down, up a little bit more. This is really going to help. But that's one frame. Poof, there we go. And here I can take that stretch, and we can just start getting him out of it. So you can, there we go. So it'll kind of relax into his pose. There. And now for that smear effect. So the smear, we're going to go to the final frame. Make sure all of these are, no, not reset, so we can never reset those. So with this particular smear effect, what I got to remember to do is actually drag a key back all the way to 1. And basically my frame 1 is always going to be its reset position, because each of these controllers has a key on them. And the key, if reset, does that. So that means that no matter what I do, I can never reset those. They always have to stay at that. So the best bet is just to keep a frame at 1 of this is the one that I'm going to use as my resetting frame or pose. Alright, so we take this and we move it up towards the sword. Doesn't matter which way it is. Actually, it does, because of the way that it breaks, or does that thing that he built in there. Yeah, that word. The one that I apparently just can't get out. And rotate it so it's on the tip of the sword. I want to take off this stupid grease pencil. I don't remember how to erase them. That is actually a huge issue, so I'm just going to turn it off. I hate grease pencil. Some days I remember how to use it, and some days I have no bloody clue. Alright, so looking at where the sword was, it was up here, so that means I need to rotate this in. We can't have it invisible, that wouldn't make sense. We can bring that down up a little bit, and then we can start rotating these all at the same time. Rotate it up, see if I get a little bit of that in there. Get a little bit of that in there. And then I can take the tip of this and rotate that so it looks like he's slashing from up and down. Alright, so I got my swing, and I can take it here and slide that over. I'm actually going to take it out of the camera because it's driving me nuts and it's popping in and out. And then we can keep that one there. The only thing that I wish this had, and it's not a big problem that it doesn't have it, but that I wish that it had, is most swing effects, they have controllers on the tips so that you can pull one further and leave one behind. That's the only controller I wish that this thing had. When I learned how to make one of these, I might actually just do that myself. I'm not the best at rigging. I have recently taught myself how, but that's using Maya's quick rig. Yeah, if anybody didn't know, if you go up into skeleton and human IK, it has a rig in Maya pre-built. You just click the skeleton, it brings in a rig, you match it up to your model, and then you bind the skin and you paint your weights and you're good to go. It works very well. I used it on one of my characters that I'm building for a short that I want to try and animate. It's actually not a short, sorry, it's just a short animation that I want to do. It involves Trump and getting thrown through a wall. Because, you know, he's always talking about that wall. I'm still trying to figure out if that's actually going to hurt my career if I animate that. Because some companies might see that as a, oh, you know, we're American, so how about you don't? And for some reason, my American accent now sounds like a fucking dude who lives in the bush. Alright. Just get it so it's popping off. We need to make sure that it doesn't break off of that line. This line, we do not want it to break off that line. So that means I gotta rotate that up. And I'm just gonna cheat this to camera a little bit. There we go. Then I can grab my swing effects, key that, and we're just gonna take that frame and pop it off. So we've got, and then I got one more that I gotta do. Like a good Mexican, make a rig of myself and make me bust through Trump's wall like a good Mexican. I actually could do that. I have a video of, sorry, it's not a video. I have a drawing I did of my brother that I want to make into a character because basically my brother has a lot of stories growing up. He's told me time and time and time again, and I feel bad for him sometimes, but sometimes I'll bring him to a party with me, or just to a friend's place, or I'll introduce him to people and give you a sombrero. Oh my god. Sometimes I'll just bring him places because his stories are amazing, and I'll be like, dude, tell that one about you and the friggin' blah blah blah, and I'm not going to say anything when he's not here, and I don't want to spoil it because it'll totally ruin the short. He's got a lot of good stories. So what I want to do is turn him into one of my little characters I've designed, and I want to have him sitting at a table telling his stories with this shitty rig that I've built, and it's actually kind of funny looking. I'll show you at the end of the video. I'll show you the Trump one. But I want to have him sitting at a table while I'm just sitting there interviewing him, and it's going to be us as animated characters. So I have to make him and myself. The problem is we both kind of look the same. We have the same hairdo, but our hair is parted on different sides. He has a piercing on his ear, and I don't, but our characters are kind of somewhat similar. So I'm going to try and find a way to make them different. Anyways, I've completely gone off of what I was doing. I have spent an hour doing this freaking swing effect, and I haven't even fixed the sword swapping yet. Anyways, we're going to do the next swing and fix this broken arm, you know, before we even touch a swing. Oh, Jesus, there's 2 broken arms. Okay, so this arm, we're going to key it, and we're going to go to this pose, and I'm going to copy the previous one, and I'm going to take this arm, and I'm going to copy the previous one. Holy jeez. They're both fucked. Yeah, I'm going to have to put labels on my YouTube channel saying that I swear a little bit too much. Alright, so we take that, and we can rotate that in. We can take this, and we can rotate that in, and we can take that, and rotate that in. I need to fix this other arm because it's bugging the shit out of me. This arm ends up coming to the front, so it drags behind. Here it should start coming forward a little bit. This hand, I'm not going to drag this hand behind a lot. And a jacket. Give me a sombrero and a jacket. You know, I'm really starting to want to do this, Arturo, but part of me wants to give you that long ass hair that you had because it's just hilarious. Alright. I've got to break this arm down a little bit more, which means that I'm going to have to change this pose a little bit so I can take that and rotate it down a little bit. And oof, comes up into frame. There we go. Let's see if that sword is fixed. There we go. Alright, so this smear I'm actually going to do in perspective view because I don't want to move my camera again. Actually, you know what? No, I'm not going to do that. That is bad practice. Alright, so we'll get our camera moved around. So I've got a good point to go off of. Fuck yes. Oh, you guys kill me. Alright, so I'm going to take my swing effects and I'm going to copy its pose right here. And then here I'm going to pop it up. So we bring it all the way up to the top. Holy shit, that was lucky. That rarely happens. I'm going to, just for the second, to do this, just so I can find out what side that's supposed to be on. I also realized on my first swing I used this the wrong way. I'm not going to fix it unless I absolutely hate it. This should be on the inside, I think. I could be insanely wrong, but I want to see what happens the way it looks like this. We bring that down, rotate that up, bring that out a little bit, and it's getting pretty close. I know this mic is much better, but I know for a fact that you can hear me hitting keys. I really hope that's not that big of an issue. If it is, I will find a way to fix it. So this one is going to be huge. So we pull that out and we rotate it around. Oh, I'm totally going to use it this way from now on. Okay, the other way is garbage. This way is much better. And we're going to grab all of those. Oh no, you know what? Work backwards. That way I know I've selected them all. There we go. And even though this is rotated in the correct direction, you can't really see it. So what that means is I need to stretch these out more, and I need to do exactly what I told you guys not to do, and that's rotating it like that. And I need to break it a little bit more. make sure I'm only rotating it in Y. There we go. Alright, key the whole swing effects there. I can go one more frame. I gotta pull it along with the sword. Bring it out. And now I gotta start to translate it in so it gets smaller. Oop, let's not do it that way. Let's bring you back in. Okay, so it's translate X. There we go, that works much better. We can bring that around. More translate X. And we'll just take the rotations on that and start flattening them out a bit. And we can get a little bit more or less rotation on this guy. A little bit less rotation on this one. And we can keep translating them in to make them a little bit smaller. This is a little time consuming, but you thank yourself for it in the end. There we go. That feels much better. And take that key and pop it over. So basically, what I've got at this point... Ooh, shit, that needs to move up. That's not even close to the sword right now. Can bring that up. And this is going to have to come down a little bit. Okay, the swing effects. There we go. Now if I just hit play. There we go, that feels way better. Whew, look at the swords go crazy. Okay, so I need to fix the swords real quick. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to open them up in the graph editor. I'm going to go to the blend parent and I'm going to put these on stepped. Rule of thumb, your blend parent should always be on stepped. I don't know if this is 100% true, but I have been told by a couple people. Let me take some tea first. I've been told by a couple people that when your blend parents aren't on stepped, when you do blurred frames right in between here, when you do that frame, what ends up happening if you're not in stepped and you're in auto, and let's say that this is 1 frame apart, your blurred frame, it takes the half and it will render that so that you end up getting that 0.5. So if you do blurred rendering in Maya, there is the odd chance that that could happen. I've never seen it because I've never, steered away from that rule of having my blend parents in stepped. So I'm not going to say yes or no to it, but I am going to tell you what I've been told by people in the industry. So make sure that your blend parents, your constraints are always in stepped. It is the rule of thumb where I work, and I'm pretty sure it might be everywhere else. So I'm going to go through until I find the next sword change right there. So he passes it here, which means those blend parents need to happen 1 frame later. And they do, which means that is happening here. So what I'm going to do actually is take this frame and this frame, I'm going to copy it over. There we go. Now you don't even notice it. Boom. Check me out. Yeah, that's what happens when you have proper planning. Oh, there's a shitty spot. Alright, so we got the sword in the right spot there. Here, we need to move that over 1. Ooh, that's ugly. So what I'm going to do right here actually is at this pose, if this is the correct one, I'm actually going to find the spot and I'm going to rotate that back up so that it doesn't pop. So it needs to be over to the right more. Whew, that is a huge pop. Let's translate that down in the hand a little bit. Watch the tip. Gotta rotate the tip forward a little bit more. And this way a little bit more. Alright. There we go. That's a little more seamless. Nice. There's also a fix for this rig on the guy's website. So basically, because I referenced this in, as soon as I download that or that new rig, anything that he changed on it will be done in this one, which is fucking awesome. And actually, I started at 9:30. It's only been half an hour, and a little while ago, I said I'd been doing this an hour. So that was a complete and utter lie. Woo. Okay. Now, smears are done. The swords are fixed. The hands are half-assed. But I am hoping that when I actually render this out, you don't see the swords. I am cheating. Ha 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 ha. And I meant hands, and I said swords. I'm sorry. I need another drink of tea. Okay. Now, if anybody wants to take a guess at what I have left to do, it's all of the garbage. The stuff that when you have to animate, you dread. But when it's done, god damn, it looks better. So what I'm going to do is, you'll notice I have two layers. I have a layer that says extras, and I'm about to make another one. And I'm going to call it stuff I didn't want to animate in the first place. I need to hide those. I think I need to hide a couple other things, actually. Something in here, if I select it, it selects everything. Oh, it's underneath his foot. That's right. Okay, so deselect that right there. There we go. Now, what I need to do is put this in here and call this fun controls. Oops, controls. Not adding color to that because this Maya likes to change colors of things. I'm going to turn those off, and I'm going to turn the extras on. Now, these are the ones that I didn't want to animate in the first place. I also need to take that and that and that, and these off of that layer. Excuse me. There we go. Because I need these. What the hell is a pinner? I don't know what that is. What does this do? Oh. Well, that's cool. Head world local, IKFK, head order. Neat. I didn't know that was there. Body viz, geo viz, weapon viz. I would turn the weapons off, but I actually kind of want them on to see if they affect anything in the rig. Now is for the best part. Animating all of the belts and the stuff on it. Now, luckily for me, a lot of this stuff doesn't move around a lot because it's strapped to them. So there's not going to be a lot of bounce on most of these controls. There's going to be a lot of crash fixes, and going over crash fixes is something that I want to do in these tutorials / just me animating and talking, because this isn't really a tutorial. It's more of I'm animating and just watch if you want. The only things that are going to bounce, it looks like, is nothing. I could have one of his guns turned on his legs. That's something that I could do, but for now, let's avoid that. Okay, so going through the first pose, because obviously, you know, the first pose has to make sure it has no crashes on it. We're going to check anything for crashes, start pulling stuff up and out. So what I like to do, A-Tools has this awesome control, and I recommend you don't use it if you don't know how to use it, because it can potentially mess up your shot. Like, mess it up. That is the longest save I've ever had, and I'm pretty sure it's going to crash. Yep, never had a save this long before. This could be fun. No. Should I open up another Maya just in case? I haven't done much changing from the last one. I actually think it broke. Alright, new Maya. Never takes that long to save. Ever since I put more RAM into my computer, it's been lightning fast. Oh shit. Ugh. Well, now I have two Mayas open. Let's close that one. You know, that's usually how it works. It's like those times when you say, hey dude, can you come help me with this? And then he comes over and helps and you just fix the problem. I love it when that happens. I do that constantly at work. Okay. Anyways, as I said, A-Tools has this awesome tool. And what it is this little doohickey right here. I'm going to turn it off real quick because it's very finicky. If I select a controller in my rig. I want you to watch these values. Just these values. In the whole line. Watch the whole damn thing. If I select that and I move every one of these up, watch what happens to the graph editor. You see that? It modified the entire thing. What this thing does is I haven't yet tried to do a selected area, like only modify these ones. But what it does is if you select something and you move it, it will modify the entire thing in the entire graph editor. The thing is though, you have to have a key on that specific controller. So if you don't have a key on that controller, it won't do it. I can move that down. So basically what I want to do on the first pose is I'm going to go through and I'm going to fix all of the crashing with that turned on. That way, just in case that crashing is going to happen on every pose where his hips move out like this, it's already fixed. And then all I have to do is go through and just modify a bunch of the other ones. So like for instance, this belt needs to rotate up and come out, because the chances of me having to fix ones where it's not crashing are going to be a lot smaller. And I can just go through no problem and just fix a couple that aren't crashing. This, I don't know why that was even put like that. That should be like that, so it's not going inside of the other one. Take this guy, he seems to be okay. Is he crashing into the leg at all? Yep, a little bit, so we can take that and rotate that out. We can take this belt and we can, ooh, wow, those are bad. Okay, let's take all three of these and we'll rotate them out. There we go. And I can take that and translate it down a little bit, and take that guy and translate him down a little bit. I would like to fix that broken ass Geo. There we go. That's getting there. Let's see. Ooh, that is hugely broken. Alright, so how do I fix this? I can turn that off now without right breaking everything. Can I scale them? No, I cannot. So that means that we need to just rotate this until it gets out of the leg. And that means that needs to come up. This one is going to be one that I have to fix later on. Like hugely fix. Because there's no way in hell that's going to work throughout the whole shot. We can rotate that out. Keep it attached to the belt though. Technically this isn't how these should function at all. They shouldn't be rotating this much. But I'm going to do it hoping that people don't notice too much. There should be a secondary control on these so that I can bend them, but that would be asking for way too much. I'm pretty happy with how this rig functions to begin with, considering it's free. The guy who created it as well, I've been posting his name on each video. His name is Kyle Figgins, and I hope I said that correctly. His website has some rigs that you can buy off of it, and I checked them out and they look pretty solid. He has a short that he did as well that if you look at his demo reel, you'd recognize it in a second. It went around a few times last year. I can't remember exactly what it was. It was a dude fighting a robot in a city, or it was a girl. I cannot remember which one. But anyways, it's a really, really good watch if you haven't seen it yet. Once I'm done this, ooh, that's a shoulder. Done these crashes, I'm going to show you something else. Because basically this could take a while, just fixing crashes. They're not a big deal. This is just something that you want to watch for when you're animating. When you're doing personal shots like this, not a lot of people are going to be watching for crashes, especially if they're small. So it's not something that you really need to worry too much about. What anybody is going to be looking at is your weighting and your posing. That's the main thing people are going to look at when they're watching your shots. So this isn't something that's too big of a deal at the moment. What I do need to do is actually deselect that. I need to make sure that all of these are on their own control, and the hair or head, whatever thing, is going to be on its own controller. And open up the graph editor. And we've got some keys on that. We're going to nope, we're going to copy all of those. This could take a minute. That's going to take a long minute. Doing the crash fixes, I don't want to spend too long on it because I guarantee some people are going to get bored on it. What I am going to jump into next is his little thing on his head, that little floppy part. I am going to animate that. I know some people have issues with hair, so that's something that I'm going to touch base on. And as I do the hair, I'm going to go back and fix a couple of these. I don't want to do just all crashes and nothing else. So we're going to jump back and forth. And while this continues loading, I'm going to grab a little bit more tea. Feel free to ask anything too in the questions if you want. I'll try and answer it. Tea with the same bag. Yummy. Oh, and quick shout out. Abe. God, I cannot pronounce your name, Abe. I'm very sorry that I'm about to just absolutely brutalize it and murder it. Ahmed Badawi. I'm hoping to God I said that correctly, because I've just been calling you Abe for like the past year. He did the cover art for the YouTube channel. He's amazing. He's done a comic book cover for a friend of mine as well. And I think he's also in the middle of doing a how-to comic strip type thing for another friend of mine. So if you're looking for anything in that general area, there you go, because he's good at it, and I would definitely recommend. Alright, I'm pretty sure that's as good as that's going to get. I don't know what these freaking keys are right here. Excuse me. It looks just like it's broken. So, we're going to leave it. And, like I said, I'm going to animate his stupid little hair thing. There's probably not much to do to it. There really isn't. Okay, so we're just going to see the limits of how much it moves. Alright, it's got a little bit. I can do some to it. Now, when you get to hair or anything that's following the head, you got to look at where the head was and where it's going to. You can't just go for it. Now, I could animate off of the keys that I currently have. So I could just keep flipping in between these. When I get to hair and stuff like this, sometimes I will animate it in stepped if it's complicated, but when I get to something that's this easy, typically I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to watch where the hair was. Now, this hair doesn't sag. You can animate it in a sag if you really want to, but it doesn't. I'm going to continue calling it hair. It's not hair. It is just the stupid little tip at the end of his head. And it doesn't act the same way as hair does. So all I'm going to do to it is just stretch it out a little bit in some areas. I'm going to add a little bit of flop and overshoot on it. That's pretty much it. So I need to watch where it went from to where it's going to. So as you can tell, the tip of it is right here. If I go to the next frame, I need to rotate it in that direction. I'm not going to stretch it. The move that he is making is not big enough to stretch. So we can keep rotating in that direction here. Keep rotating in that direction here. I think he's going down as well, which means that in this point right there, we can rotate it down. Here we can rotate it down because the head's going up. Here we can rotate it down again because the head is going up. And here we start to rotate it up because the head is settling. And then right there, we're going to rotate it up. And because this is a really big move, this is where I'm going to stretch it. And we can stretch it just a little bit more. You don't want too much. I don't know if... Actually, I do know. Don't ever stretch for more than 2 frames. Squash and stretch should be felt and never seen. That is the rule of thumb with squash and stretch. You did say it right. Oh, God, thank God. Oh, whew. Alright, and then here, it cannot float into that position. It needs to overshoot into that position, and then it needs to settle. So it can go boom. Then here I can add a little bit of overshoot. I can take that last control and overshoot a little bit, and this one and overshoot a little bit more, and key that, and it can settle into position. I'm going to move that back And I'm just going to cushion it in a little bit more. So boink. And we're going to overshoot it down just a little bit. This goes blink. Oh shit, that might be too much bounce. Yeah, that is way too much bounce. Stretch. Let's rotate it down a little bit more. Rotate it down a little bit more. I want it to be straight, not have this hook that it seems to have going up. There we go. That's better. Here I need to rotate that back up. And then here I can rotate that down. So, boom. There we go. Thunk. That's too much though at the end. It's right here. That's too much. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to ease into that final pose. So we can. There we go. That's way better. All right. So we go to the next one for his next pose. Here, this isn't enough movement to do anything to it, but here is, so we can key that. Here we can stretch it out just a little bit, not too much. Here I can rotate it so it looks like it's going to where it was coming from. That makes no bloody sense. Hopefully you understand what I'm trying to say. Here we can rotate it down. Rotate it down again. Rotate it down and off to the side because I know he moved that in that direction. There we go. Goes up. Now, this is the fun part, and it might work, it might not. He comes up, and as he comes down, now we go up with the little head point. So, bonk, and then it will settle down. That might be a little too late. Yeah, it's too early, actually. That should happen here. So we can take this key and copy it there. We can take this one and move it to the last one. Too much, so we'll just minimize it. There, I took middle mouse. There we go. Key it. Now this move I need to look at from this angle. Okay, so we can stretch that back. Again, watching where it was. So the tip. I can take a little bit of that last move. There we go. Getting there. Take that stretch off. Make sure it's following the arc that it was making. Let's bring that up and around. And then because it was rotated in the other direction, it's got to overshoot this way. And then here we can start to bring it up. It can overshoot down. And then this move, he's starting to go down, so we got to bring that back up a little bit. Maybe not all of it, just the tip. So we can go. And I'm going to rotate it around, and around, and around. Kind of like it's dragging this way. It doesn't always have to do backwards and up like a tongue, if that makes any sense. And actually, that's what I'm going to do here. I like it better that way. And then because this move, he starts to come up, we're going to copy a little bit that last one. And then here we're going to overshoot up. I'm going to copy the last one. I'm going to stretch it again a little bit. These stretches might end up being a little much, but all I have to do is just tone it down in the graph editor when I'm done. Make sure those are coming from the right direction. Ooh, that one wasn't. Rotate that around, rotate that around. There we go. We can get it starting to go flat again. So, phoomp. Again with my sound effects. And I'm actually going to keep that overshoot going. So it keeps overshooting. And then it settles. We're going to overshoot that settle a little bit. There we go. And here we need to, some of these moves don't need it done at all, like I was saying before. Some of them aren't big enough to require it. I might even have overdone it in a few places, but it's a lot easier to tone things down than it is to just keep overdoing it. If one of the things I was taught when I was working at the company, I don't want to say the company just in case I can get in trouble for it. Before I was working where I am now, one of the things I was taught was that directors there at least preferred you to always push your animation further than you think, because it's a lot easier to tone it down than it is to constantly be told push this, push that, push this, push that, push this. It's just, after working for about 5 years now, it is a hell of a lot easier just to tell somebody to tone it down a little bit than it is to constantly tell them to push it more, push it more, push it more, push it more. So I tend to overdo a lot of the stuff that I animate, just so that somebody can say, oh, tone that down a little bit, because all it takes to tone it down is just to modify the controls a little bit. So, and it's actually the graffiter I meant. Let's just see. Well, you can see a little bit on there. That belt pouch definitely needs to be tweaked a little bit though. I'm noticing a lot of crashing in the belt pouch in some areas. So we'll go back to the beginning. I'm going to grab all these belt pouches and I'm going to put them on a selector, and we're going to take all those off and all those off, and we're going to call them, whoops, POU, pouches all. There we go, pouches all. And I'm going to make these ones green just because. Alright, key that. Now I know that they need to stay the way they are here. They can stay the way they are there. Here they can start changing. Now, the bonus is, I actually don't have a bonus because I don't have the hotkey here. I can just reset that. This one, I can just reset all of these. And this is why I did that thing earlier. Because now all I have to do is just take that, translate it up a bit, take that, and translate that up a little bit. Ooh, that one, not so much. That one, and that one. There we go. Take this belt, reset that. That one's good where it, ooh, it's not good where it is now. So actually, let's see what happens if I go 50%. Let's try this much, this much, this much, this much. Nope. I could have sat there doing that forever. Alright, so far so good. How's this pouch doing? This one needs to move up a little bit more out of the leg. Again, that's not how the pouch works, but whatever. I just don't want them crashing. So I can key that. Here, I'm going to copy the last one. Yep, can do. Not here though. Alright, so that means that this is going to be super busted. We're just going to get that up on his leg, kind of straddling in the middle, just enough that it doesn't look like it's breaking through everything. Again, with this one, we're going to rotate that up. We're going to, ooh, just like that. Pull that out, rotate that up, and keep on getting it just enough so it doesn't look super broken. Again, this is not how these pouches work at all, but they're not modeled or rigged in a way that I can actually fix them. Or they, you know what, they very well could be, and I just haven't found the controller for it yet. So I'm not going to continue saying that they're not done the way that they should be, because they probably are, and I haven't found it. Alright, so pouches, key it. Go to the next pose. I'm going to copy the previous one. Cool. A little bit more fixing because this goddamn pouch. Man, I have so much crashing. But that's all because of the thigh. So we're going to rotate that out a little bit more. We're going to take that one and rotate that. Sorry, that's translate. Translate that out. Translate that out. Take this one and rotate it out a little bit more. Oh, getting so close. I realize this sword is probably crashing through the body now in some places, which means I'm going to have to go through and fix that as well. We can take this, rotate that around so it looks like it's sitting on top of the leg a little bit. Take this one. It's getting there. It's fine the way it is. There we go. And the back. Just get that out of the back a little bit more. Typically when I'm animating shots at work, if I get to this point where they're like, go through and fix crashes, I quite literally will just do it like this. I'll just go through and I'll look for anything big that crashes, and then, like the worst person in the world, I shit you not, I will fix the crashes that they ask me to, and then I'll submit it, and even if there is crashes, if they don't see it, I don't fix it. Because realistically, it's TV, and who is going to notice a small, tiny little crash in an area where nobody is looking? If it's not important, I don't bother. Because there's usually a lot more important things to work out than one tiny little crash. This is by far, though, the most tedious part ever. But the bonus is when you're done, man, does it look better. So we can copy that one. We can copy that one. Right now I'm not doing overshoot or overlap. I'm quite literally just fixing the current ones. Oh, starting to get... Oh, damn. Look at that pouch. It is so not even close to where it should be anymore. Like, it is way out of where it should be. Same with this. This isn't even close anymore. I should have rotated those hips a little bit more, I think. Or just taken the belts off. But I kind of like having them there. There we go. Pretty much done on... Oh, no, not even close. Now, if the gun was on here, it would be really difficult to get that pouch in the correct spot. This guy, I just noticed, is in the wrong spot almost the whole time. But he looks okay, so we're just going to leave him. Keep going. Copy the previous pose. Holy shit. No, we're not going to do that. 33. I'm going to copy frame 22 to frame 33 and see what happens. And it's closer. Nope. Let's get you down. Almost like you're getting back to where you should be. Get you back down, sort of. Right in the center. There we go. Let's get you halfway to where you're actually supposed to be. And you two, we can probably just reset. Aw, damn, yeah. Nope, you need to move over more. There we go. Which means you need to move over a little bit more, and we can key that. Boom. I just said, oh, Jesus Christ. Okay. Now I can reset these two. Perfect. They're back to where they should be. And they're not crashing. Well, he's kind of crashing. Rotate him out. There. Solved. These bullets are major crashing. But you know what? They seem to stay their size, which is nice. I remember a rig that I used to work with at my old job. When you got huge stretches like this in the rig, it would actually break the ammo. It was kind of funny. It would make them super weird looking. Then we get told, oh, can you fix the geo on the guns? They look like they're broken. It's good times. Alright, pouches. Sweet. Can key that. Oh, you know what? I think I can go back a frame. And I can reset these ones too. Let's reset you. Oh, I can even reset the bottom ones. Let's reset you two. And you. There. That means I can ease into them back here. And then here I can copy them, here I can copy them, here I can copy them. I'm just going to keep doing that throughout the whole shot until I hit a point where I can't. There we go. We're just going to stop there. Alright. Pouches. Going to key them there. Yep. Move to the next one. Key them there. Yep. Yep. Oh, shit. Alright, let's see what happens. Oh, that leg is back up. You know what that means. If I go to frame 31, oh shit, what frame was that? 31 to 47. I can copy that all the way over, and maybe, oh no, not even close. I was gonna say maybe because it looks like the same pose, I could just use that old one. So I wouldn't have to fix anything. But it was too good to be true. Alright, slowly but surely, all these fixes will be gone. Believe it or not, one of my favorite things at work is when we get fixes. I am one of the crazy people who loves fixes. I don't have a reason as to why. I just find that fixes are time consuming for one, and I don't know why I think that's amazing, but the time consuming part, it basically just keeps me busy, and I don't have to do anything. I can pretty much just shut my brain down and just do exactly what the note says, where it says, hey, there's a lip sync problem here, can you fix that? Like, sure can, man. Sure can. It's like a nice little vacation from animating. I am also very sorry about the sniffing. I realize it's probably disgusting. But like I said, I'm getting over a cold. And I kind of really wanted to try out my new mic. And apparently, it is awesome. Because nobody has bitched yet. Alright, we can key that. I'm going to actually ease into that. There we go. Oh, you need to stop crashing into that leg. And you need to just piss off. Oh, these stupid pouches. I love them and hate them at the same time. Maybe one day he'll just take them out and throw them at somebody. Maybe I can animate that. That is not, but one of the next shots that I want to do is going to be, and I am going to possibly live stream this one as well. I have, and I'll show you the setup for this one as well, but when I am done, I think I've got another, I'm at an hour now. I tend to go about an hour and 15 minutes. I have another couple minutes before I'm going to be done with this one, and then I'll show you the other ones at the end of this. Holy crap, still got 6 people. That's impressive. Anyways, I'll just show you the idea afterwards. I won't keep talking about it. I will just show you. What? Nothing from the previous one I can copy, eh? That's a bummer. Alright, so that's got to come up and rotate out. This one is fine where it is. This one needs to hug the hip a little bit more. This one needs to come down a little bit more. And these need to, overall, and I'm just going to do this now, all of these need to be reset. There we go. Now that'll stop pissing me off. Go here. I can reset that guy. And I can reset that guy. Nope, that one's going to come back up. And then I can take these ones and reset those ones, and take this one and reset that one. Nope, can't reset that one. Just rotate it in, because that handle crashes. So we can key those. As you can tell, I'm getting a little bit less carry. I'm starting to care less. That's what I meant. Starting to care less about these pouches, as long as they don't look like a huge big issue. I would like to animate some overshoot in them, which is something that I will do when I'm done fixing all the crashing. That is something that is very easy to do when you're done the crashing. There you go. You can come back down, actually. I don't know why you were up that high to begin with. Why the hell were you up that high? Oh, that's why. Because of his leg. Alright, take that. Copy the previous one. So this is exactly why I did that the way I did in the beginning. Because you end up redoing every one of them anyways. So you might as well just get them all close to where you want them. And then just fix them afterwards. It's like, why the hell not? What the? That's weird. No, I guess it's not. That's just me. Alright, we can rotate that out so it's not crashing into the leg. Bring this one and rotate it up and bring it out a little bit more, even though, again, this isn't how these pouches work in real life. But I don't care. I'm almost done. That's all I care about right now, is that I'm almost done this stupid pouches. And now they can go back to normal. All of those can go back to normal. We can key that. And damn it! Hey look, they're already fixed in that spot. Let's reset this one though. That one shouldn't be doing that. Ugh. Can't wait for this cold to be over. I got myself sick waiting for news last week. It was a great week. I can't really say much, actually. Anyways, I was waiting for news. I got it, and the time that I was waiting for the news, I ended up getting really sick because it was stressing me out not knowing. It was good times. On another note, I did have an amazing Friday hearing that my wife sold her house, which is awesome because now that means that she's got one less thing to worry about and she can actually come out here and I don't have to worry about it anymore. Because truth be told, I was sick about hearing about the house. And if she listens to this, which she probably is, she's going to kill me. Actually, she won't. She's pretty dope. She's like, really? I'm like, yeah, and guess what? Now the world knows. Now the world knows that you made me listen to you about your house. They're gonna be like, oh god, that bitch in her house. And if my grandma ever listens to this, I am finally done that goddamn pouches. Okay, I am not doing overshoot on the pouches. What I am going to do is I'm going to turn off the controllers and I'm just going to hit play, and then you can see this magically play through a few times. I'm going to save it first as 34. Save as. No, fuck. Why is it asking me to save twice? That is weird. Anyways, I'm going to just hit play a few times. You can see the pouches are done. And you don't... I can see one spot on that head where it does pop a little bit because it smears a little bit too much. Anyways, the swing effects I'm cool with. Looking at it from the front, making sure that he's balanced the whole time. There's a spot in the end, right... I don't know why I didn't just slow that down. Right here. Nope, where is it? It looks like he's dancing. Right there. This is bad. That needs to get fixed. And that I will do on my own time, because I, frankly, am done with this shot. This will be the last stream of this Deadpool shot. I'm going to fix up that leg, because it looks good from the side, but I need to fix it because it'll bug the crap out of me. I'm going to fix that up, and I will put this up on my Vimeo just to show my test with Deadpool. I'm going to show the image. I'm going to try and find the guy who did the actual drawing. If you haven't seen the drawing, this is the image I pulled off of Google. I just typed in sword swing, Jesus, that's hard to say, sword swing poses or something, or animation, and this is what I got. And if you watch the shot, that is what all of that is based off of, as you can see. A few areas I had to, I'm going to say hodgepodge. I'm pretty sure that's not even a word. But a few areas I kind of had to make up on my own. But it worked out. So just going off of somebody else's drawings and making them work for this character didn't seem too bad. It was a nice exercise. It was about 7 hours worth of work. Actually, probably more than that. I think I'm at six sessions, all about an hour and a half each. Anyways, I'm going to save that for the final time, and I will show you those two things that I was talking about. Again, I don't know why it's asking me to save twice. That baffles me. Anyways, set project, and let's go to the T-Rex fight first. Yes, I said T-Rex fight. The one issue I'm having with this is my T-Rex doesn't work at all. Like, not even close. It has this weird problem with the arms. Now, what I plan on doing with this, which I haven't even started, I kind of just got a camera ready and the character in place and the T-Rex in place, but the T-Rex is too small and he looks too friendly. So I might actually change it for a T-Rex to something else. What's going to happen, if I ever get around to this, which I really plan on doing, is the creature in the back, which will either be a T-Rex or something else, is going to be creeping up behind Deadpool. The reason I keep using Deadpool as well is because the creator of the rig has said I can totally use it on my YouTube channel. So that is one big reason why I'm actually doing it this way. I am going to have a character, or a creature, sorry, not a character, a creature sneaking up behind him, kind of like a dog, where if you ever tell a dog sit and stay, and then you turn around and look at him again, and he just keeps getting closer and closer and closer, that's what I'm going to do with this. The plan is to get it that far at least, where this creature is sneaking up behind him, and I'm just going to keep the camera like this, and I'm going to have a bunch of flashes from the TV like he's watching TV, and he has no idea what's going on. The ending to it is either going to be the creature grabs him and throws him up in the air, they land behind the couch, and then you don't see any of the fight, but the couch is bouncing around and everything, and the camera shaking around, and then you see Deadpool flying up in the air, and then you see the creature flying up in the air, and then one of them is going to get up and just walk off or sit on the couch, or I haven't really thought of an ending for this. If you have a suggestion, please go for it. If you also have a nice creature, something spooky particularly, I was watching a movie on Netflix today called Blame, and they have these robots with, I want to say 4 arms, but they do have feet, but they do have hands, but they kind of crawl really creepy like, and their faces are always in IK, so their faces aren't in IK, but their faces always stay perfectly flat and still, but their body moves around. It's super creepy. But anyways, I would like something like that. So if you have a suggestion, please tell me. Anyways, that's the idea with this shot, which is my next project of streaming. My short is going to be with this guy. And I'm pretty sure there's a couple of you who have been like, oh my god, I just want to see the Trump. Anyways, this is my Trump. I think he is hilarious. He is fully rigged. He needs to be weighted. He's not 100% weighted yet. But I'm getting there. Again, it's very close. And I'm very stoked. And something is super broken with his arms. I'm not quite sure what. But anyways, it's getting there. His head is done at least. Woo, his head turns. I'm just in the middle of painting weights at the moment. But, you know, it's my first time rigging and weighting. Anyways, this is the style of character I want to do. He is, and this is the plan with these characters, because I am going to do them all in this style. I don't know how to do IK legs, so there's not going to be a lot of bouncing around. I mean walking. It's going to be a lot of like bouncing and shit. But how their face is going to work is I'm going to draw their mouth shapes. So their mouths are going to be done in 2D. And their eyes, Trump is just going to have beady little eyes that are like super close to his face. So basically, by the time he's done, hopefully he will look a lot like, why the hell can't I change that to black? There we go. Hopefully he will look something like this. And his face, I'm going to give him these like little bird lips. How did I draw it? I can't remember how I drew it, but I gave him little girly bird lips. So he kind of did something along those lines. He's really stupid looking anyways. And then maybe a little more squint, except I think I want to actually push his eyebrows at one point actually will be, oh yeah, I locked those. Those shouldn't be locked. His eyebrows are going to be covering his eyes most of the time, so that all you see is his tiny little dots. Anyways, that's my Trump. I think he's hilarious. And I'm going to be modeling my brother in this somewhat same fashion once I fix whatever the hell I've done to this one, because it is busted. And yeah, so hope you enjoyed. I'm going to turn the volume up a bit on this so I can see where it ends, so I can hit end stream.